I'm so excited it's actually working today. Today our webinar is on having a guilt-free holiday, being able to enjoy the food and making good choices. So I want to first preface it with this. There is something that I call good, better, and best. And I've heard it in lots of different things, but that's how I look at this Young Living lifestyle. Because the journey is still going to happen. You're still going to be invited places, and I want to make the best decision I can when I have the opportunity. So when I'm getting ready to cook for Thanksgiving, I don't want to tick off my family. We're going to family events. We're taking treats with us. We're doing different stuff. We've got all these different parties for what? The next 6 to 8 weeks, because ours goes from about now all the way until actually the week after Christmas, we have another party. And then of course we've got things, not Thanksgiving, what's that other holiday? New Year's, right? So I want to be prepared for it, but I want my family to be able to enjoy the process. So if you want to go through the process, still feel good, come out the other side, still doing good. Last year during the holidays, I still lost weight. It wasn't a huge amount of weight, but when you can go that 6 weeks and still have released 6 pounds, that's a big deal. As of Tuesday morning, I have released 141 pounds. That is exciting to me. And that's, of course, over the course of 2 years. So this isn't like, if you're looking for that super quick, lose weight, the life-changing, dramatic stuff, that's not what I have. I have life-changing stuff that just over time, your body's going to feel better. So the first trick that I want to give you, and this is really important, the very first trick is Young Living's amazing Citra Slim Caps. If you are not already using this product, you are making life so much harder on yourself, because this particular product right here, some of what it does is it helps to fill your belly so you're not full, so you're not hungry. It takes away the cravings. It helps with the different hormones that are telling us to eat. You know, we've talked in the past about ghrelin and leptin and how one tells us to eat and one tells us that we're full. And for people like me, like I said, you don't get to be over 400 pounds and not have that system broken. And one of the things that Citra, the Citra Slim, the sleep caps do is they help us with a normal, healthy weight management program. They help your belly to fill up. So I take these right here, I open them up, and I take one sleeve in the morning before I eat my breakfast, and then I take one sleeve before I eat my lunch. I open it, I take it before, while I'm getting everything ready, putting everything together, I make this. And I will do the same thing every time I'm going to a Christmas party, Thanksgiving morning. I will make sure I take these just like I ordinarily would, because I think, that's my dog, she just heard a noise and she has to go see what's going on. Anyways, she'll stop in a second. Pepper. So I take these so that I'm not hungry. So I'm not having to use my own willpower to say no, or I've had enough, so I can sample something small and not go overboard. So that's one of my tricks. The other trick, the other thing I love to do, especially if I'm going somewhere, like we're getting ready to go to lunch with a friend of mine, and we're going for Mexican in about 2 hours. So I make sure that I have either a sleek shake before, like right now, so that I don't go there famished. I don't go there super hungry. Sometimes I like to do a half of one with just 4 ounces of water, so that I can enjoy, I can chit chat, and I don't feel like I overeat, even if there's some of my favorites, because I've said it before, you do not get to be 400 pounds and not be a food addict. And these are things that help me to feel controlled, so I can make good decisions along the way, so I can enjoy it. So there is the sleek shake that I take, and or my favorite is our Pure Protein. The Pure Protein, there's so many different things that you can do with this. If you are not already playing with this, we're going to talk about some of the recipes, some of the things you can make with this one and the chocolate one. But you can, because I like to make 4-ounce ice creams out of this. And what I do is I just make it like normal. I put it into my little, what's it called? My little blender, my mix-it thing. And I add this and a little bit of whipping cream, and then the water, and I whip it up and I put it into serving sizes in the freezer. So when I'm wanting something and I know it's not time to eat, or I know it's something I'm going to have a hard time saying no to, Thanksgiving dinner, is it really hard to be in control and make good choices when you go there because you didn't eat breakfast, you didn't have lunch, and you just gorge and you feel uncomfortable, and you'll eat stuff and afterwards like, why did I eat all that? These are little things you can do ahead of time. It tastes like I'm having ice cream, so I feel very satiated. I feel happy. I feel content. If you don't use whipping cream, you can also use coconut oil. Whip that coconut oil in there and get that all creamy and frothy and put it in the freezer. And then I can eat it. Now, if I don't want it to be frozen, I can do it like a pudding. So I can do a vanilla pudding. You can do the same thing with the chocolate, like a chocolate pudding out of our pure protein. And you're getting a full serving is 25 grams of protein. So when you do a half of one, you're getting what, 10 to 12 grams of protein in that little shot. You're getting that good fat and you feel comfy and satiated. Those are things you can pre-do so that you can go and enjoy and have a little bit. If you want a piece of pie and you have a little bit of pie, but you're in control, it's a couple of bites of pie and you're satisfied. You don't feel like you're getting gypped. You don't feel like your whole family's getting cheated out of their Christmas specials, right? Another trick that I do, and this is when we're having parties here at our house, we have nuts all the time. We soak our nuts and then we drain them and dehydrate them, and you can use a dehydrator. You can also just put them in your oven. So what I would do is, like, I get my raw nuts and I fill up a container with nuts, and then I will put the water in here, and I will let them soak anywhere from 4 to 12, maybe even 24 hours. Then I drain the water, I rinse them real good, and then I dehydrate them so they're super dry afterwards. So they're crunchy like you would normally like your nuts to be. I also add salt to the water when I'm soaking them. And the reason why I soak our nuts is because there's an enzyme, a protectant on the nuts to keep them, and when we eat them without soaking them, that enzyme inhibitor is in there, and we don't get as many nutrients out of the nuts themselves. So 4 hours, 8 hours of soaking your raw nuts will really be a game changer, and you can do that with even like your walnuts, your almonds, and then just dry them out so they don't have to be squishy, but you can use them that way. You can also, if you're going to make your nut butters or nut milks after you soak them, you can whip them at that time, and they whip up much easier for you to turn into the different butters. And they're really a cost-effective way. But the reason why I like having nuts around, and we'll make a little tray with different nuts on them, and we'll have them in the different rooms of the house for, like, if they're going to be in the living room or kitchen, wherever they're going to be, and people can munch on the nuts, and it automatically makes you feel more satiated. You feel fuller, you feel content, you were nibbling just like everybody else, you didn't feel like you were getting cheated. And you can bring baggies of different nuts and stuff with you, or bring it as your tray to share. Bring in a thing of nuts, and you can bring in a thing of good yummy cheeses that are healthy, good cheeses, and that's a good one. You can make your own avocado. Not avocado, you can't grow an avocado, but you can make your own guacamole. So you can whip it up and have it all ready. Same thing with your own pico. You can even make your own corn shells. Remember, good, better, best. So if I go and I buy a normal store brand corn chip, it can have some other stuff that's not even listed on there. So I don't like that idea. So that would be like my least favorite. Then my next favorite would be to buy some organic chips already made. But then my favorite, my best, would be if I just buy organic corn shells, soft ones. You get a big container of them, and then you just slice them so that they make tortilla shapes. You throw them in the oven. I like to use, I use a lot of the spray bottles. You can buy these really inexpensive, and I put coconut oil, or this one I think is probably avocado oil. Yeah, because it's for my veggies. This is avocado oil with lime and orange. What else did I put in there? And celery seed. And this is one that you can spray on your greens before you eat them, before your salad. It's already ready. You can spray it on your chicken when you're getting ready to cook it. But I would take this one with the lime and the orange and just spray it all over those chips. You get that good taste. I'd sprinkle some sea salt on there, throw them in the oven, and then that's a quick, easy appetizer that you can have at your party that people will like, they'll enjoy, but it's good for them. It doesn't have any of the chemicals in them, so we're talking clean eating. So we don't have to worry about the toxins, and it's an avocado all mashed up with your pico de gallo that you put in there, which is tomatoes and cilantro and onions. You mix it all up, and that's a quick, easy, again, this is stuff that you can take to a party. You can nibble on it so you can make better choices while you're at the party, because I don't know what everybody else puts in their food. Like when we have potlucks and different stuff with all the stuff with our team, I don't know what choices other people make. So I make sure I first fill up on the good stuff, then I can take some of the other stuff and nibble on it, and I don't have to worry about long term what it's going to do to me. So those are some things that you can do ahead of time to make it easier. Then you're going to do some planning on how you can change and tweak some recipes. So everybody has their favorite. Like for us, our family does a big turkey, right? That is a gimme. I want turkey for Thanksgiving. Turkey is just, and I know I've got some vegetarian and vegan friends out there that think it's horrible. Well, this is my family, right? We like turkey. So again, good, better, best. So My best option would be what? If I raised my own turkeys and I had them in my backyard and they were range free out there and I could just go grab my turkey and have somebody else slaughter it, because let's be honest, I'm not going to do that, right? So that would be the best. And then there is ordering a turkey like that. There's lots of places where people in your area already have turkeys that they're raising. They would be happy to be able to buy it from them. So you can do that. You can also go to different co-ops and order an organic good turkey. Then you can also go to your store and buy an organic turkey. And so of those, what is the best? Me doing it myself, and then somebody that I know that raises them, and then somebody that sells them online that raises them, then maybe in the store, and then you've got your regular turkey, right? So a turkey that you buy from just, I can't even think of a brand right now. You go to a store and you buy a brand's turkey. Then you get that. Now, that's obviously going to have more chemicals than one that was raised on our own, right? But turkey is still better than any kind of McNugget, right? It's still a real bird. It's got other hormones, it's got stuff, but it's good, better, best. You do the best you can with what you have, and you work it and tweak it so it works for you and your family. So what we have is a turkey that we bought from somebody that we know raises turkeys in the area. So that's our beginning. And now for our stuffing. So we personally, we don't do grains. We don't do pasta. I'm sorry. What is it called? Bread. So for our stuffing, we had to come up with different ways so that we could still have our stuffing, because we like the taste, we like the feel. So what can you change with? And last year we made a delicious stuffing that was made from wild rice. So it was a wild rice stuffing. It had no bread, it had no flour. So we were able to do that. So that's something our family did. So you can look online for that if you're wanting to make that type of a change. You can also use where you make your own bread, or you can also just make like 6 or 7, like a dozen biscuits, and you can do that with like our einkorn flour. So you can have that be the core of it. Just make sure you dry them out, and that would be a better choice. So if you're doing grains, is einkorn a better wheat than using the regular wheat? Well, yeah, because it has enzymes, has less chromosomes. Our body recognizes it as food compared to the one that we have today. So you can do that, make your own. And again, good, better, best. It's also something that you maybe could choose to eliminate, because you can get the flavor in your meat by using something like a poultry seasoning, so that you can get that same flavor that you would ordinarily get from your stuffing. We did that for a few years, but my family kind of vetoed. They like having their stuffing. So that's where we went with a brown rice stuffing instead. And using your oils in anything you do. So like when we prepare our bird and we do the rub that we put on the bird, we use all kinds of organic spices, but then we also put our oils in it. Like I love adding black pepper and celery seed oil, Vitality of both of those, to our rub that we're putting on it. It gives a great depth that you get to the flavor. I also like throwing a little bit of jade lemon. If you've played with jade lemon yet, it's an amazing, almost a sweet flavor to it. When you add it, it just gives that extra depth to your flavor. So you make your spice, your rub, and you put your oils in there, and you just rub that all over the turkey, under the skin itself, and it gives a great flavor even if you're not putting any stuffing in there. You can also choose to cut up a bunch of apples, onions, and celery. Just chunk them and put them inside the bird, and it will have flavor from the inside out. So again, you can choose to skip the stuffing altogether and just give it a great flavor. And some people eat the veggies they put in there. Most people just throw them away afterwards. So just some ideas so that you can enjoy that turkey and not worry about it. So then what's a side dish we all do? Like everybody in the universe, I think, does mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes and gravy is a normal addition to your meal. So what are some things we could do to pick it up? So potatoes on their own, they get this bad rap because they are a high carb item. Now I choose right now, we are on a low carb. We are not on a keto during the holidays. It made it too hard, but we go to a low carb, moderate carb. So keto, if you're looking at as far as rates of how many carbs, ketogenic is around 20 carbs a day, which is very hard to do during the holidays. A low to moderate is between 50 and 100. So we're staying closer to that 50 to 65, but if you're choosing to do carbs, so let's do choosing to do carbs first. So potatoes get a bad rap, but they are 11% protein by weight. They've got a lot of fiber in them. They have potassium in them. There's lots of nutrients that are in your white potatoes, but you can kind of kick it up a notch. So you can do mashed white potatoes, and you can put some cauliflower in it. So when you mash it, it gives you less carbs. It still has the same consistency. It's still going to have the same flavor. It's still going to be yummy. It's going to taste like, feel like real life mashed potatoes. You've just taken out a little bit of the carbohydrates that are in there. You can also do what do they call parsnips. You can do mashed parsnips in with your mashed potatoes. So that, again, it still has the same flavor. You will taste the parsnips a tiny bit more. They have a sweeter flavor to them, like a really mild carrot. But typically, once you put that gravy on there, people don't even realize that you put the parsnips in there. So those are some changes that you can do. And if you're wanting to stay with the lower carb, which we're still going low carb, potatoes are a little bit higher carb for us. So we choose to do mashed cauliflower. Now, I am very persnickety on how I do mashed cauliflower. First of all, I do it from fresh cauliflower. And I chop that all up in small pieces. And I like to take it and fry it in a little bit of butter first, just to get some flavor to it. And we cook it till it's super soft. And then we mash it up and we put it in an actual blender so it gets completely blended. And then we'll add butter and we add cream cheese to it. Cream cheese kind of thickens it up. It gives it another consistency, a good flavor to it. Then we put it into a baking dish and we bake it. And what that does is it bakes a lot of that moisture out. One of the problems with the mashed cauliflower is that it's moister. There's no other way to say that. It is a wetter product than using mashed potatoes. So if you bake it a little bit and it just heats it up, and like sometimes my daughter will put grated cheese on top of it. So it's almost an au gratin mashed potatoes. And it is delicious. I've not had, even my friends that are not into health in any way, shape, or form. Yes, I have some of those. They love that dish. They think it tastes fantastic. So that's a fun way that you can change it, tweak it out for your family. And again, with the mashed cauliflower, you can throw some parsnips in there. You can throw, what are some other ones? Any white vegetable you could throw right in there and try that with people, and try it for your family. Now, I highly recommend any of these recipes you're going to play with, make it before Thanksgiving, have it with one of your regular meals in the next couple days, to see that they like it, especially if it's a big change. You don't want somebody to be disappointed in the holiday, or remember that year mom did. So these are ones you want to kind of experiment with ahead of time. Just to make sure your family's going to enjoy it too. And then side dishes. So when you're thinking about your side dishes, what are the ones that are non-negotiable? One of the things my dad always used to make was a cranberry salad. And so to fix that, so it was a healthier version, we still start with whole cranberries, the whole cranberry, and instead of using all the sugar, and I substitute this in a lot of things, I will use something like Swerve. Now this Swerve, I think, is my powdered sugar one. Okay, so this right here, this replaces, you can use this in place of sugar, whether it is a brown sugar, a regular sugar, or a powdered sugar. This right here, and Swerve, this is not a dangerous, you know how there's so many artificial sweeteners out there and we're always like, oh, stay away, these ones are scary. This one isn't. I will tell you, if you are, again, 400 pounds, there is an addiction that's happening for me, right? So I try to stay away from anything sweet because it makes me want more of it. But if that's not your case, this one will replace it, but it's a whole lot less carbs. So when you use a serving of this, which is a teaspoon, it is 0 calories and only 5 carbohydrates compared to sugar. And it really has the same consistency, the same feel. The taste is almost identical, but you can do so many different things by replacing your sugar in a recipe with this. So like us, for our cranberry relish, I still start with whole cranberries, and then I use my Swerve. I put some of that in there. And I cook those down so they start breaking down, a little bit of water in there. And then we do cut up Granny Smith apples, and we do walnuts and almonds. And we put all of that together and mix it and let it sit overnight. That's one that really needs to sit in the fridge overnight. I think we put a little bit of celery in there too. And then I like to add tangerine essential oil. Oh, it is delicious in there. And usually we'll do like a couple drops of the lemon as well, because I like that tartness that helps to, it just gives a great flavor. It's a nice tart, delicious dish, and it's super quick to make. You can even throw some greens in there. We did that last year. We put some very finely chopped up spinach in there and mixed it all in. And there's so much flavor that nobody even cares or notices that there's some greens or anything in there. So it's a good one. You can slide some stuff in there, and it just tastes awesome. I like using pecans and walnuts both because I think they have a different texture in your mouth, and they also have a different flavor. So those are some ones that you can play with. Another great dessert, or even for on the table, like sweet potatoes. Everybody likes sweet potatoes, right? But do you know that sweet potatoes taste amazing without adding all the sugar to them? They truly do. I know you think I'm crazy, but they do. But this year, when you make your normal and you're going to want them to be sweet because that's your thing, it's your family's thing, then what you're going to do is do your sweet potatoes like you ordinarily do. But instead of using marshmallows or brown sugar, get the brown sugar Swerve. And you can sprinkle that on top, and you can still have that wonderful same texture in your mouth, same great flavor. We like our sweet potatoes, our squashes, our pumpkins completely sugar-free. We just do butter on them, and I love them just that way. I don't have to add anything else to them. So another thing that we like to do, now this is moving into the dessert land, but so again, good, better, best. If I'm going to make pumpkin something, what is my best option for the pumpkin? My best option is to grow organically my own pumpkins, right? That would be the best way to do it. You're getting great ones. And by the way, so you're not fooled by this, there's no difference between the pumpkins that you cut, carve, and decorate and the pumpkins that we cook and eat, okay? So there's no difference. When it says it's a pie pumpkin, it's just a younger one, so it's more tender. As a matter of fact, when you're buying canned pumpkin in the stores, it is not actual pumpkin. It's a blend. Libby started it years ago, and it's actually almost all sweet potato because sweet potato is a smoother texture. It doesn't have as much string to it as a pumpkin does. So know that when you go to make your own stuff. The way that you can overcome the stringiness is before you, because you cook a lot of them at one time and you freeze them or can them, however you do, but use a blender. So it actually takes all those fibers and breaks down the fibers before you can it. So it will be better. But so your best is doing your own. But then what do we have? Right, so this is a good option. This is organic pumpkin. It's not the pie mix. It's just straight organic pumpkin. Now I know this is not the #1 best way to do it, right? Because there's a lining inside the can and there's some chemicals that leach out from the lining into the pumpkin. But is this a better choice than doing pumpkin, right? Good, better, best. So this is, at least I know some of the pesticides aren't on there, and there's some stuff that they did different. So like when I'm craving something and I really want something and I feel like I'm being gypped, I like to take just good old-fashioned whipped cream, just whipped cream, whipping cream, not the kind you buy in a container or a squeeze thing, the like this. This is just heavy whipping cream. Again, the best would be going and milking a cow, taking the cream off the top, right? That's the best. Here's another option. So this is just the heavy whipping cream, and you literally take this item and you pour it into one of those mixers. I keep saying the mixer. It's like a little, I can't remember what they're called. It's teeny tiny and it's easy. So I take and I pour about that much in, I don't know, maybe 2 cups. And then I'll take 2 or 3 tablespoons rather, of pumpkin, and I put that in there. And then I will add to it my vanilla pumpkin puree. This is not vanilla pumpkin puree. This is my pure protein, the vanilla pure protein. And I'll take that and I will I'll put a scoop of that, not 2 scoops, just 1 scoop. It gives it that vanilla, that cinnamon. It also makes it higher protein, good fiber, and it's going to make me stay nice and full after having my treat. And then I will whip it up, and you just keep letting it whip. The whipping cream itself will start to get super thick, just like making whipped cream. Only typically if I wanted to make whipped cream for my family, this is what I would do. I would take the whipping cream, I would put it into the blender, I would let it start going. I like to add a little bit of cinnamon oil to it, especially for Thanksgiving. So it's a cinnamon whipped cream. It's delicious. You can add a little ginger and clove in there if you really want to give it a pop. But you just blend it, and it will get super thick and creamy, like a super thick. It's not really ice cream. Now you could freeze it and turn it into ice cream, but it's more like a thick, delicious pumpkin pudding, and it tastes amazing. And you can have that for breakfast. As a matter of fact, that's our Thanksgiving breakfast. This is another one of my hints for being able to enjoy Thanksgiving. We make that exact combination, the pumpkin, the pure protein, and the whipped cream, and then we put einkorn wheat in einkorn granola, Gary's granola, the True Grit granola. We put that in serving bowls, and then we put this on top of it and mix it together. And it is so delicious and so yummy, and it feels decadent, and you enjoy it, and it's very filling, and that way you're not starving by the time you have your Thanksgiving dinner. You're in more of control. It's also a fantastic way to make a pie plate. So not a pie plate. So I take those same ingredients, I whip them together, and I put them in a pie plate, and then I put them in the refrigerator so they get nice and firm. And then when it's ready to serve, I'll take the granola and sprinkle that all on top of it, and you can cut it and serve it as a delicious pumpkin pie that is low sugar, lots of good healthy fat. So you got you're satiated. There's no chemicals in there. There's no added sugars in there. The only real kind of sweetener that you have at all is the Pure Protein Complete, and that's giving protein. but you still feel like it's a decadent dessert. You can do the same thing with the whipping cream and the chocolate. So it makes like a chocolate pie. And you can, with that, if you wanted to, you could actually make a crust on the bottom and put the chocolate filling inside it. And then you can put regular whipped cream on top of it. You could even put some real chocolate on top, shred it, take one of, oh my gosh, I gotta make this. Take one of the candy bars of Young Living's, the orange one, and grate some of that on top of the whipped cream. Hello, that is like a chocolate delight right there. I would probably, if I'm gonna use the chocolate candy bar, I'd probably put 2 or 3 drops of orange and tangerine in the chocolate mix when I make it. So if you didn't keep up with me on that, it's going to be your whipped cream, and then you're going to use the chocolate pure protein complete. You're going to mix those two together, and it's going to make your actual pie filling. Put a couple drops of orange and tangerine in there as you whip it up, get it nice and firm, and put it inside a pie crust. If you don't know how to make a pie crust, you can take our einkorn wheat, and you can use that and mix it with the butter. And you can go online and find any recipe on how to make a pie crust, but you can do that with the einkorn wheat. So it's a healthier option. And then you're just going to make whipped cream to put on top, just a vanilla whipped cream. So you're just going to take the whipped cream, and that would be a little bit of swerve. So you'll take whipped cream and swerve, so that your whipped cream will be sweet because this has no sweetener in it. And then some vanilla beans, and mix that up and blend it, and that would be the topping on top of that. And then I would grate that candy bar on top. Oh my gosh, I have to make that. I should make that and show you guys how I do it in video while I'm doing it so you guys can experience it. So that's a fun thing you could do. What are some other things? Just using your oils and everything. Like I said, I have bottles of these made up ahead of time, and I put different oils. It just kind of depends on what I'm in the mood for at that time. And I can spray this on anything. It's always available. It's always sitting right here in the kitchen, so it's easy to use. I can also carry them with me. So if I know I'm going out to lunch, and like I love avocado with different flavored oils on it. It's like a favorite snack for me. And so I will take like rosemary essential oil, put in one of these with a little bit of thyme, rosemary and thyme in here. You can spray that over an avocado and cut that up, and that can be your lunch, and it is delicious. It's super easy, but I just blend it with whatever oil. Like I said, I believe this one's avocado oil that I have in here, and I blend those up. I like to use fennel. We have fennel essential oil, and fennel is delicious, right? So you can make a cup of tea. One great trick with fennel is fennel helps us to feel, again, satiated. Your belly feels warm, it feels comfy, and you're not wanting to snack on anything. So you can just take your fennel and put a couple drops in hot water and mix that up and drink it, and it's delicious. You can also whip it. I use that same mini little blender I have. It's a bullet. There we go. I use my bullet. And I'll take hot water. A lot of times I use the sleek tea, and I will pour that in there, and I will put fennel and jade lemon. Jade lemon gives it that little bit of a sweetness that we like. You can use tangerine. You can put any oils in there. Cinnamon is great in there if you were looking for a holiday taste. And you just blend it up. But I like to blend it, and I put some MCT oil in there or coconut oil in there, and it gives it that frothy, creamy sensation. And if I really want that little extra creamy, like I got a latte type thing, I'll put just a shot of the whipping cream in there, and it gets really frothy and delicious. And again, it tastes decadent. You feel like you were just being so naughty, but it tastes so good, and you are content with it and happy with it. Same thing, you can take our pure protein, our chocolate pure protein. Like, how many of you have kids that love hot chocolate? But you look at that label, and it is full of sugar, and that's not something I want to give my kids. I don't want to have them all hopped up on sugar. It's not something I want. Sitting out by the fire, I want to be able to feel confident and good about the choices I'm making, so that I know that no matter what, I'm leaning towards a healthier lifestyle. Good, better, best, right? So you can take Pure Protein Complete, 1 scoop of it, mix it with a little bit of the whipping cream and hot water, blend it together, and you have got delicious, amazing hot chocolate. And it's good for us. It's good for our kids. It can be used, people are trying to do 5 meals a day. And if that's you, you can do your hot cocoa in the middle of the afternoon, and that be one of your meals. And it was good for you. It was a good choice, so you can make better choices throughout your day. So those are just a few of the different ideas. Anytime you're getting ready to use a spice, you read a recipe and it says it needs a spice, look to your vitality oils first. What do you have in your pantry of essential oils? And then another thing is, have your oils handy. You need to have, so you have your oils that you carry with you when you're out and about, right? Those are the ones you use, you share, you show. But you should also, excuse me. You should also have your oils in your bedroom. Like I've got oils next to my bed. Those are ones I want to use every single night. And there's ones that I use every single morning. I have ones in the bathroom that I know I'm going to want to use while I'm in there. I make sure my Progessence Plus is in the bathroom so that every time I go to the bathroom, I rub on some Progessence Plus. It's where it's convenient. I have them in my office so that when I'm sitting there working, I can reach out and they're close and they're handy, right? But the same should be true in your kitchen. I know we think about all the other stuff, but we should have an area where our oils are. My oils are on this counter back here, which is over by my stove and stuff. So when I'm cooking, I've got my Vitality oil, so I can reach them and grab them and use them. It's all on convenient places. It's why my nuts aren't in the cupboard. The nuts sit out on the table, or like when we have cookie jars. I'm big into cookie jars and what are they called? Salt and pepper shakers. Don't judge me. We all have our weird things, right? So I've got my cookie jar over here has got nuts in it. So when people reach for something, or we'll make a granola. I love Young Living's granola, but I also like nut granolas. So we'll take a bunch of different nuts and we'll mix them up, and it's handy. So if somebody wants a quick snack and they reach for it, it's where they can get it. That's why my what's it called? My Ninja shots. What are those called? Holy smokes. Nitro. I have my Nitro right where we get our tea and everything ready, so that if somebody's needing that boost, maybe they can just get a Nitro instead of trying to make a hot tea or something else for that caffeine boost. So it's there, and it's out, so it reminds me to use it. It reminds me to have the stuff available. So I have stuff ready, even if I don't need it or it's not on a list, so that when I want to make pancakes, because every once in a while, does the urge for pancakes happen? It happens. So I have got our einkorn waffle and pancake mix. Dude, it's right here. I also use this to make muffins. You can make delicious muffins. And this is a healthier choice, right? So this is sealed because I haven't made it in a long time because I'm trying to be good and not do any of the flours right now for me. But if we decide to make it, I don't want to have to make a poor choice because I don't have the good choice on hand. So I have it on hand, so in case I need it, I can make the right choice. So on that, I think I'm going to wrap it up. We had a 30-minute class. I'm also putting a whole bunch of recipes. These are recipes that you can go on my website, ShannonHudsonYL.com, and go under handouts. And we've got a little section. One is from an event we did a while ago, and it was food and fun. And it has the different recipes I was talking about for the shakes. So those are on there. So you can pull those up. You're free to use those. And then we just put together one for the holidays. So there's a recipe in there for cherry pie, how to make a delicious, yummy, healthy cherry pie. What else do I have on here? We've got cherry pie. We've got apple pie. We have got gluten and starch-free cinnamon buns. Hello, those are going to be delicious. Then these are cutout cookies. These are ones that are actually made by Young Living. You can also get them on my website. It's on their blog. And Grandma's Festive Thumbprint cookies. And this one is using it's all good stuff. It's orange, lime, grapefruit, citrus essential oils, einkorn flour, baking powder, milk, vanilla, all kinds of good stuff. There's good choices. We just have to think ahead. We just have to play with it, and we have to realize that if we have good choices and that's what's available, we're going to be okay with some of the other stuff that you do. So this isn't about perfection. This is about a journey, and we're supposed to enjoy the process. I don't want my family to hate the fact that we're being healthy. I don't want that at all. This is for the rest of our life. I want them to like it. I want them to, you know what I want? I want my kids to want to continue eating this way even when they move out on their own. And to me, that's so important. So those are just some things that we do. This is also a chocolate chip pumpkin, chocolate chip cookie recipe. So lots of stuff on there. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. Comment if you liked the stuff. All right. God bless. We'll see you next week.